Squared minus 16 is smaller than 0. I'm just going to do it here at the bottom. X squared minus 16 is smaller than 0. Do you have any idea how we solve this inequality, Maka?
We take negative 16 to the other side, it will be positive 16.
Take negative 16 onto the other side?
Yes.
I'm not too sure that might be the best method. It's actually, it's easier to factorize this. Do you know the factors of x squared minus 16?
4 and 4.
The factors 4. Of x minus 4. I'm sorry, do you recognize this?
Yes.
Okay, that's actually what you need to do. And now, solving this, there are various ways of doing it. And different teachers teach different methods, or some of us teach all the methods, and then you guys can decide which one you want to use. But one of the methods we use is by saying our critical values in this case, and the critical values are the values that give you 0 in each bracket. So it would be 4 and?
4 and negative 4.
4 and negative 4. So what I would do is I'd put these numbers on a number line and test what happens.
Yes.
Have you done this before?
No.
Right, so I'm going to test now what happens between each of these regions, less than minus 4, between minus 4 and 4, and after 4. And what I'm looking at is where will I get answers that will be of a negative nature, because the question says solve x squared minus 16 less than 0.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So the best way to do this is to substitute values. If I take a value in this region, I'm going to take, let's say, minus 5 in this region. And if I put it in that equation, I'm going to get minus 9 and minus 1, which would make it a positive value. Are you with me, Maka?
Yes.
I've taken a value in this region which says less than minus 4. I've plugged it into the equation there, and I've ended up with a positive answer. I'm not really interested in the number itself, just whether it's positive or negative. I will do the same thing between minus 4 and 4. And a good number to choose there would be 0. And if I did that, I would get minus 4 times 4, which means a negative number.
It is a negative number.
Right, and then the last region I would test would be bigger than 4, which would give me a positive answer. Right, you can test it out back home there.
Yeah.
Now, what the question asked is, where is this product less than 0? So we're actually looking between minus 4 and 4.
And 4.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, just hold on, Maka, we've done something wrong here. We changed our equation to suit ourselves. So this is actually a greater than 0, because we want it to be positive, don't we? It's logs. And let's go back there and take that one out as well. And go there and get the pin. So actually we want it bigger than 0. Are you with me, Maka?
Yes, I'm with you.
So what are the answers now that we need to write down if we want this inequality to be bigger than 0, according to this number line that I have? X must be smaller than?
X must be
smaller than minus 4. Can you see, because this is a positive region here?
Yes.
Or x must be bigger than?
Bigger than 4.
Now, looking at this, I'm just going to highlight that as well, so we see what the solutions we have so far. Now, if you look, just looking at the solutions we've got, I've got x is less than 0 there, and x is smaller than minus 4 and bigger than 4. I can straight away eliminate this one that I have at the bottom here. Do you see why I can eliminate x bigger than 4?
No.
Because x bigger than 4 doesn't work with x less than 0. I've got a contradiction there, so this one's not going to work. I'm going to look for values that are smaller than 0. But I'll come back to that once we've got the last solution we have to do, which is this one. Maka, are you with me? I'm just going to recap because it's quite a tough problem. Let's go back to the beginning. It's a log inequality. In a log inequality, we've got to consider, firstly, what's our base. And if our base is a number between 0 and 1, then the sign of the inequality changes when we drop the logs. Right, so I've changed that. Also, we've got to make sure that x squared minus 16 has to be a number that's bigger than 0, which we've solved that one, because you cannot find the log of a negative number. And then minus 6x must also be bigger than 0, which means x must be less than 0. So the last part we've got to solve is this now. Maka? Are you with me?
I'm with-
Do you see why this problem is worth sometimes 7, 8, 9, 10 marks depending on how it's asked? It's quite a complex situation.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to solve this last inequality, and the first thing I would do is bring the 6x onto this side. Okay?
Yes.
It's going to be very similar to that one that I did down here, which said x squared minus 16. I've got to factorize and work on the critical values. Now, what are the factors of x squared plus 6x minus 18, minus 16? X and x, yes. What are the factors of 16 that will give you 6? It would be 8 and 2, Maka.
Yes, it will be 8 and 2.
8 and 2 would give you 16, and I would have to put the plus sign there and the minus sign there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the critical values are, what are the critical values in this problem?
The critical value will be x equals to 4
2 and
x equals negative 8.
negative 8. So those are the numbers I'm going to put on my number line. Very similar to what I did in that instance on the other side there. So I'm going to draw my number line. And I've got to, remember there's other ways of doing this. You could draw a graph, you could do various other ways, but I'm just showing you one method now. Minus 8 and 2. And then we're going to do the same thing we did there. We're going to test values in each region, keeping in mind that we want a negative answer. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now if I put in a minus 9 there, the first bracket is going to become a minus 11, and the second bracket is going to become a minus 1. So that's actually going to be a positive answer. Alright, so this is just a bit of calculator work. And in the second region, I'm going to actually take a 0 again, because 0 is quite a comfortable number to work with. Minus 2 and 8 will give me minus 16, which is a negative value. And if you test the last bracket out, you will see that you'll get a positive answer. Maka, are you with me?
Yes.
Now, what is the solution of this particular inequality, this part of the inequality? Remember, we want a negative answer. Which region gives us the negative answer?